Pokemon has always been about playing together with your friends, but although you can interact with other players by trading or playing minigames, there is no way to do an entire playthrough together. That is why I created Pokémon Emerald, a multiplayer mod that lets two players connect to battle together against any trainer in the game. This mod also includes a built-in Soullink mode, also known as a 2-player Nuzlocke, where encounters are linked and if one faints, the other does too, and now that actually happens in the game. I invited my friend Word of the Day Ajay to play this mod with me, so here's the story of the first ever Pokémon Emerald multiplayer Soullink. We start the run by going to the option menu and then going to the second option menu to set the built-in randomizer settings, so when we open Birch's briefcase, there is a total of 6 fully random starter Pokémon. Word had 3 solid options and eventually picked Ampharos, and although I couldn't be disappointed with a Crobat as my starter, the other 2 options for me were the start of a pattern throughout the entire run. Either way, our fully evolved Pokemon destroyed the wild Zigzagoon, and then we had to nickname them. For all of our pairs, we combined the 2 names into one, so this one is named Ampharat. This video is entirely a work of fiction. The names in are the work of the author's imagination. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, is entirely coincidental. With that done, we can go to Route 103, talk to our rival, link up, and battle them with both our starters. The rival Spinarak was no match for them and swiftly went down, but since this is a link battle, our Pokemon don't gain any experience. To work around this, I added a rarer candy, a reusable key item to level up our Pokemon whenever we want. We didn't want to do that just yet though, because we want to be able to safely weaken our Route 103 encounters in order to catch them. This worked out for Word, who got a Kingler, but it backfired for me since Pelipper kept breaking out, and I had to run away before it could knock out my level 5 Crobat. We went into the next encounter at level 7, so I managed to catch Dugtrio, but then Word's Ampharos almost died against our encounter Zapdos, so we still only had our starters to take on the trainers on this route. Fortunately, we made our way through the route without any skill issues or technical difficulties, unlike the previous run that shall not be named, which had both. We then had to watch the catching tutorial, but this actually seemed to help. We got a Lombre plus Elekid on Route 104 named Lomkid, and a Hoppip plus Delibird pair in Petalburg Woods named Hollybird. Still, we didn't catch everything. A Sonic Boom Electrode got close to immediately killing Lomkid before Word could run away from this encounter. I personally think this was karma for her using the setup that allowed her to control a game on my laptop, combined with my bathroom break, as an opportunity to shortly take over my Discord account. We at least managed to also catch an Arcanine Persian pair in Reserve Tunnel, which we named Arcane Ian, and since we can each only choose 3 Pokemon per battle anyways, we were ready to take on Roxanne. She led with 2 Slowpokes, which were both randomized from her original lead Geodudes, but this has been fixed in a later version, so for new randomized playthroughs, she will lead with 2 different Pokemon. This run was also the first full test for this mod, so expect a lot of "this was an issue back then, but I have fixed it." Anyways, both our Ians had a super effective bite to 2-shot their right Slowpoke, and in Generation 3 double battles, fainted Pokemon get replaced mid-turn, so Roxanne immediately sent out her ace Lugia. Fortunately, this is also weak to bite, and forcing out Arcanine for Elekid made this fight even easier since we could now wrap it up with a double knockout to get the first gym badge. The next gym is in Dewford Town, where we also got the Old Rod to allow for more encounters. The only notable one though is a Jolteon Porygon pair named Joltegon, but at least we managed to catch all the encounters we found. That already brings us to the second gym leader, Brawly, and just like Roxanne, he has a Psychic type legendary. However, the actual threat here is the Magnemite with Sonic Boom to always deal 20 damage. Its typing also made it resist almost all of our moves, except Ember from Arcanine, and one was already enough for the knockout. That left just a double teaming Deoxys and Brawly's ace Togetic, which were both more annoying than actually threatening, so soon enough we defeated them and got our second gym badge. Moving on, there are a couple more fishing encounters, but because the randomizer wasn't random enough yet, these were mostly the same, so there were no new pairs to be found. The one actual addition was a Ninetales Golduck pair with the phenomenal name DuckTales, but that was also the best thing about them. This meant we were still using the same 3 pairs for the next rival fight, and the lead of Slacking plus Suicune was so scary that Word's Pokemon just didn't appear on screen. Graphical glitches at the start of a battle are unfortunately somewhat common, and I haven't managed to fix them yet, but you can simply fix it in-game by opening and closing the Pokemon menu. That still left the actual issue of Slacking and Suicune, but since Slacking could only move every other turn and it mainly used Yawn, we could keep switching our drowsy Pokemon and use the others to slowly chip down Suicune. That eventually brought out Slack off, so now both of the rivals Pokemon could only move every other turn, and we could easily clean up the fight. That opened up one more encounter before the next gym, and this pair is actually decent, Venomoth and Relicanth. Well, the Relicanth is decent, the Venomoth isn't, you can see the pattern continue, but it's good enough for Relicmoth to join the team for against Watson. His elites didn't seem threatening right away, but since Dratini learns Dragon Rage, which always does 40 damage, we targeted it with both of our Pokemon to immediately get rid of it. Also, fun fact, level 20 Dratini does not have Dragon Rage, but we didn't know that. This let Snorunt set up Double Team, but that still didn't make it threatening. My Crobat chipped down the newly sent out Whiscash, while Word's Relicanth took out a Snorunt, so Watson sent out a second Snorunt? This one is not a bug in a randomizer, that is just a coincidence. It's also, once again, not a threat, and Whiscash was just dealing pathetic damage with Water Gun, so after one final wing attack, we had obtained 3 total gym badges. So far, we were getting relatively lucky with the randomized teams from the opponents, but we will need to improve our team to prepare for when his luck inevitably turns around. There were a lot of opportunities for this before the next boss battle, and we were finding some decent encounters, but they were always paired up with a less desirable Pokemon. There was one incredible encounter, Snorlax, but not because of what it can do, but because of what it holds, the leftovers. This held item recovers a small bit of HP at the end of every turn, and by teaching Thief to my Elekid, I could steal more leftovers from Wild Snorlax. This wasn't so I could give all my Pokemon leftovers, but it was so I could also give Word some leftovers by trading, since we had a setup for connecting our games anyways. So, although we hadn't managed to improve our teams with better Pokemon, we still managed to upgrade our current Pokemon, and this showed against Maxie. His Rock Sliding Ludicolo was a consistent nuisance in this fight, and Tri-Attack Dodrio took a big chunk out of Arcanine HP, but leftovers kept it out of actual danger throughout the fight, so we didn't even have to switch our leads to make it through this battle. After this, it seemed like our encounter luck was finally turning around. The final 2 pairs before the next gym were Seadra plus Noctowl and Vileplume plus Charmeleon. Vileon is immediately a solid pair, but Seadra would only really be useful if I evolve my Seadra, and that requires trading, which we can actually do because of our setup. Unfortunately, it also requires stealing a 5% Dragon skill from another wild Seadra. I tried this for a bit, but after running out of my 10 Thief BP without getting a Dragon skill, we decided to continue the search later and first take on Flannery. This battle took 15 minutes and I have no idea how to fully describe it besides by saying it was hell. Both Deoxys and Flygon were using annoying moves such as Double Team and Sand Attack, and we didn't have great moves to hit Flygon, so we first targeted the Deoxys. This was probably a bad idea because it couldn't actually do much to us, and knocking this out made our position even worse since Flannery then sent out her Ace Swallow. This meant I had to swap up my Grass type, letting Flannery use both Double Team and Sand Attack once again. Word's Ampharos did manage to land a Thunder Shock to bring Swallow down to yellow HP, but then on the next turn my Crobat's Wing Attack missed, so Swallow could use Endeavor to bring Ampharos into yellow HP as well. This also triggered Static, paralyzing Swallow, but this also ended up being a bad thing because Ampharos also missed its attack this turn. That meant that Ampharos had to switch out for a Noctowl, which had to take a Guts boosted Quick Attack, which did almost half of its HP and damage, before Crobat finally landed a hit to finish off Swallow. The battle was definitely not over yet though, because Flannery's last Pokemon was Electrode. The combined threat of electric and ground type moves forced Word to almost constantly switch her Pokemon, while I tried to chip down Electrode with Vileplume's Mega Drain, which was made more difficult because Flygon kept using Sand Attack. Eventually, it was the other part of the Violeon pair that managed to get rid of Electrode, so with the Electro type gone, I could bring in Crobat to clean up the Flygon, getting us a hard-fought 4th gym badge. There wasn't much to do before the next gym, so after catching yet another mediocre pair, we decided to take this time to find a Dragon skill, which took over 1 hour. I used Thief at least 60 times without stealing any Dragon skills, but since Word randomly ran into a Seadra on her way to revive the fossil, she could give this a shot as well, and of course she managed to find the Dragon skill before I did. Don't get me wrong, I was definitely happy, but still mad about those 60 turns I didn't get it though. Either way, this let us evolve my Seadra into Kingdra, which was my lead against Norman, the 5th gym leader. Its best move at this point was the 40 base power water gun, but that was still enough to one-shot Sandshrew while Cloyster protected itself. Cloyster continued to use Protect on the following turn, allowing Word's Ampharos to knock out Mantine with a single Thunder Punch, and Norman's last Pokemon was a teeny tiny Aeron. This one actually lived a water gun, but at least Cloyster was finally open to get taken out by Thunder Punch, and Aeron could only get off 1 attack before going down on the following turn, so that's gym badge number 5. That meant we also got the HM for Surf, so we could upgrade the movesets of our water types, and slightly more importantly, get a shit ton of new encounters. When we filter out all the boring ones, we are left with a Latios, which mementoed itself to death, a Bellsprout Muk pair, which I only wanted to mention because of the nickname Buck, and a fantastic Mew for Word, which was paired up with a Parasect. I can't even say the name, Parasect for me. Word actually managed to catch a legendary for once, or mythical, same thing, and she convinced me to put the newly named Pew on the team with a single goal in mind.
I'm gonna use Metronome against Wallace.
Metronome is a move that calls a completely random other move each time it's used, and somehow this already paid off in Pew's first battle. Word was adamant about using Metronome against a champion because she is supposedly never punished for her actions, but at least we also collected some TMs for actually good moves like Sludge Bomb, Ice Beam, and Thunderbolt. With these upgrades, we started our journey to the 6th gym, but that of course also included getting more encounters. Did I mention yet that there is a pattern where Word gets good encounters while I get not as good encounters? Well, on the very next route, I run into Xatu, while Word gets to reclaim Zapdos. Second time's a charm, so welcome to the team, Xatu. Yeah, that name was definitely not confusing at all. We then quickly made our way to the Weather Institute and beat up Team Aqua's Pokemon with ease. Oh yeah, Arcanine also has Overheat now, and it's amazing. Anyways, we actually got a reward for beating the bad guys for once, but because the gift cast form has Route 119 as its met location instead of Weather Institute, it's not a new encounter. So we very fiddly combined the names of the gift Trico and Rapidash into Trash. After quickly beating our rival and getting Fly, we finally arrived in Fortree City. Before we could take on the gym, we had to take a slight detour to get the Sylph Scope, and yeah, we got an encounter on the way, but I don't want to talk about what happened there, so let's move on to Winona. Her randomized Pokemon were actually still quite on theme for her. They were either Flying type, one of her Pokemon actually randomized into Altaria, or they were a breeze to defeat. Coincidentally, we were also using Flying types, but they were way out of Winona's league. Word Zapdos just spammed strong Thunderbolts to deal big damage against any target, while my Crobat had a versatile moveset with Steel Wing, Wing Attack, and Sludge Bomb to eventually clean up this battle to get the 6th gym badge. Next up was, you guessed it, more encounters. This time, it was actually my turn to get the good Pokemon. We first got a Venusaur Machoke pair, and Machoke is actually the better of the two because we could trade it to evolve into Machamp. Then in Mount Pyre, I encountered my first legendary, Rayquaza. However, it had the combination of Dragon Claw and Ancient Power to threaten most of my team, so I decided it was safer to just run away and move on. That brings us to the evil team part of the game with Mount Pyre, the Magma Hideout, and the Aqua Hideout. Neither the aqua grunts on Mount Pyre nor the magma grunts in their hideout caused any problems, so it was then time to take on Maxi for the second time. Neither of his leads seemed to pose any threats, especially since I had Machamp to deal super effective damage against Vigoroth while somehow outspeeding, but then... that is why I moved last.
Oh!
And that's our first death, okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Ouch.
Ouchie. This of course stung, especially because we were excited to use a legit trade evolution, but we were also getting quite comfortable, and it is nice to make this run a bit more exciting. Also, this let me show off that Link's Pokemon immediately faint in battle. It doesn't immediately get visually updated for player 2, that's me here, but you can see in Words Game that Venusaur is also dead. That did mean that we had to finish this battle with only 4 Pokemon, but Maxi's ace ended up being Spearow, so that it wasn't an issue. We could then move on to the Aqua hideout, where we ran into a different type of difficulty. Technical difficulties. Matt's specific lead of Wailord and Ampharos in that order froze the game. Why is that? I still don't know. Fortunately, we had saved earlier in the hideout, so we didn't lose a lot of progress, and we just got around this by beating him individually. Another solution could have been temporarily using a different randomizer setting, like similar strength, or just turning off the randomizer for this battle. It's still annoying though, and this is the one game-breaking bug that I'm currently aware of that I haven't managed to fix, so just remember to save often. With Team Aqua defeated, for now, all of Hoenn's water routes opened up to us, so once again we could get a shit ton of encounters. And once again, the pattern continued, with Word getting 2 pseudo-legendaries, Shelgon and Metang, which were paired with Magby and Nidorina respectively, and an actual legendary, Regice. It did have Explosion, but fortunately we picked up a Master Ball earlier in the Aqua hideout. Right? Well, we did, but then the Matt incident happened, so we had to reset, and in our rush to get back to Matt, Word forgot to pick up the Master Ball a second time, so Regice ended up exploding. Also, fun fact about the Shogun, it was holding a 5% Dragon Skill, further rubbing salt in the wound of not getting a Dragon Skill after using Thief 60 times. Anyways, because those pseudo legendaries are most useful when they are fully evolved, we kept the team the same for against the 7th gym leaders, Tate and Liza. They led with Celebi and Luftisk, while we sent out Kingdra and Charizard. The fire type could deal big damage against Celebi with Flamethrower, but all the other Pokemon couldn't do much. Celebi just used Future Sight, which would only hit after 2 turns for a bit of typeless damage. Kingdra's Surf was resisted by both opponents, and Luftisk used Takedown for some insignificant chip damage on Kingdra. The next turn was more eventful. Charizard finished out the Celebi, and the incoming Marowak immediately took a super effective Surf for almost half of its HP, while Tate and Liza only managed to confuse Charizard. Unfortunately, this immediately paid off with a Self-Hit instead of a Flamethrower into Marowak, so now Kingdra couldn't finish off the ground type with Surf. After some more chip damage from Luftisk, Marowak attacked Kingdra with Boomerang, and...
Did a little damage.
That did a little damage, yeah.
It did a little more damage.
That did a little damage, yeah.
Boy, am I glad Boomerang only hits twice.
Kingdra managed to live. Wait, why is the in-game music coming back? What is happening?
Yeah. No way!
Okay!
There's no way!
Okay!
I forgot about the future sight!
Somehow, this wacky mix of underwhelming Pokemon from Tate and Liza managed to cause the second death of a trade evolution in this run. I'm not mad about losing Kingdra, it was falling behind the rest of the team anyways. I'm not mad about the critical Boomerang. I'm not mad about how we played this either. I am just dumbfounded about this insane combination of circumstances. At this point, Tate and Liza were at least out of wacky surprises, so there was basically nothing they could do, and one by one their Pokemon fell, so we got the 7th gym badge. That meant it was time for the climax of the story, with first up, the final battle against Team Magma together with Steven. Well, that's what I would have preferred, but instead I was still stuck with Word. We're great friends and all, but at times Word can be impulsive, reckless, making moves that endanger not only her Pokemon but also my Pokemon. A couple turns into this battle, her Charizard got brought down to low yellow HP by the combination of Roll Out Downfend and Confusion Executor, and she just continued to attack with it for 3 turns because, again, she is never punished for her actions, which culminated in this.
As we've said, never punished. I'm about to get punished for my actions so hard here.
Oh god. Okay. Yep, there's your
By
punishment.
Curio, I'm getting punished for my actions.
You're getting punished for... Okay, switch out. You're not hitting through smoke screen. Switch out.
You're right.
Somehow, with Word as my partner instead of Steven, we still got through this battle deathless, and we could move on to the Seafloor Cavern for the other final Evil Team battle. Fortunately, Archie was a much easier opponent since he led with Magby and Persian. Magby even helped us out by setting up Sunny Day, activating Vileplume's Chlorophyll ability to double its speed, and powering up Charizard's Fire-type moves, so we easily defeated Team Aqua for good. That just left some final story beats, a couple boring encounters, and one last set of cutscenes before it was time to take on the 8th and final gym leader, Juan. He ended up being a total pushover because of the randomizer, but we did see something interesting here. Juan's Togepi used Follow Me. This move forces all opponents to target the user, which only does something in double battles, so this shows that the AI can also make use of the fact that this mod makes everything double battles. However, this battle also showed that fully randomizing trainer Pokemon can make usually tough opponents much weaker, which is why we decided to turn on similar strength randomization for trainers for the rest of the game. So now that we had all 8 badges, it was time to go through Victory Road with hopefully some tough opponents. The scary battles here are the first and the last one, with the first one being against Wally. His leads were Sableye and Victory Bell, and because the latter has a horrible moveset, we decided to focus the left side for most of this battle. After Sableye went down, all the remaining Pokemon were weak to either Flying or Electric, so our starter duo of Crobat and Ampharos could easily clean up this battle, defeating the toughest trainer of Victory Road. After traversing the dark caves, surfing across waterfalls, and crushing the weaker trainers, we arrived at the last 2 opponents of Victory Road. These are easily avoidable, but as a multi-battle, they are a fun final challenge, because our 2 Slackings with 670 base stat total get randomized into Pokemon with similar base stat totals. The first Slacking was randomized into the 600 BST Tyranitar, which had Rock Slide to hit both of our Pokemon for super effective damage. We didn't have great options to switch into it, so the best defense is a good offense, and fortunately Tyranitar didn't have a great offense in return. On the second turn, we still doubled into the Tyranitar slot to first finish it off with Thunderbolt, and then to hit the incoming Pokemon with a powerful Overheat from Arcanine, knocking out the entire team of the left trainer in 1 turn. Although there was one more Pokemon in the back, that was from the other trainer, so it was now a 2v1. Starmie easily went down to a Thunderbolt, revealing Latias as the final Pokemon, and as the target for Arcanine's strength. The legendary dragon had 1 turn to do some damage, and used it to go for a water sport. So they quickly went down, and with that, we made it out of Victory Road. Instead of immediately jumping into the Pokemon League, we took some time to prepare our team. First up, there was one area where we hadn't gotten an encounter yet, the Safari Zone. It's the worst area for catching Pokemon because you can't weaken them and they can just run away, so of course this is where I find a legendary, which otherwise would have been a great addition to the team. And don't even think about some miracle capture here, it broke out immediately and fled on turn 1. So although Word had a great team of legendaries, pseudo-legendaries and 3rd stage evolutions, I had to find some way to make my suboptimal Pokemon work as well. After scavenging across the region, and specifically the department store for some more TMs, I finalized the movesets of my team and we were as ready as we could be to take on the Pokemon League. First up was Sydney, who provided a great opportunity for us to show off the improved Vile-Leon pair. Word's Charizard first set up Sunny Day, so after the opponent used some speed control moves, my Vileplume could use a 1-turn Solar Beam to one-shot Huntail. Vileplume now also had its speed doubled by the Chlorophyll ability, but Dragonair still outsped it because of previously used agility. My Grass type did at least move second now, obliterating the Water Ground type Whiscash, which allowed Charizard to hit the incoming Kingler with a Sun boosted Flamethrower for over half of its HP. Even though Dragonair was still the fastest Pokemon on the field, its slams weren't doing much damage, so we again doubled into the left slot, this time for a double knockout because of a Sun boosted Overheat into Seviper. Now that Dragonair was the only Pokemon left, it actually started doing some damage with a critical slam, but Vileplume retaliated with a critical hit of its own, so that's the first Elite Four member down. Before we took on the next one, we leveled up all our Pokemon with a rare candy, since we decided to match the level of every individual opponent in the Pokemon League. This allowed both of Word's pseudo-legendaries to reach their final form, with Metang evolving into Metagross and Shelgon evolving into Salamence. We were now fully ready to take on Phoebe, but unfortunately her lead Pokemon froze the game, just like earlier with Matt. We still wanted to do this important battle together though, so this time we temporarily switched back to the full randomizer to get a lead that does let us continue. That did mean that she suddenly became quite a pushover, with Baltoy and Metapod as our first two Pokemon, while we sent out two of our newest additions, Nidoqueen and Metagross. Nidoqueen's Ice Beam did a big chunk of damage against Baltoy, while Metagross just destroyed Metapod with Meteor Mash. However, this battle suddenly took an exciting turn when Baltoy exploded. Both of our Pokemon did survive the blast, but knocking out her own Volbeat let Phoebe bring in both Gligar and Slowking to threaten Nidoqueen. Neither of my two backups were completely safe to come in, so this really was a pick your poison situation. And with that, I mean that I picked my Poison Flying type Crobat to come in, hopefully on a ground move from Gligar. Instead, it landed a critical slash for roughly 40% of Crobat's HP, and after Metagross's Meteor Mash brought Gligar into yellow HP, Slowking fired off a super effective Psychic, which finished off Crobat, killing both our starter Pokemon. This was the first death that I actually cared about, but if we just made it through the rest of this battle, we could still use the remaining 5 pairs to get our starters to the Hall of Fame. My only fully healthy Pokemon at this point was Magmar, so I brought it in and used Protect, while Word's Metagross finished off the Gligar. Slowking unfortunately targeted the unprotected Metagross with Swagger, so that was now forced to switch out into the other newly evolved pseudo-legendary, Salamence, but it was now at least a 2v1. After Magmar set up the Sun to weaken potential water moves, the combined forces of our Shelby pair took care of the Slowking, so that is 2 Elite Four members down. Next up was Glacia, and with the similar strength randomization turned back on, her leads were Furret and Vileplume. Word's Salamence could take care of the Grass type, while Magmar targeted the normal type with Brick Break, but Furret actually used Follow Me to make both of our Pokemon targeted. Furret could not withstand the combination of our attacks, but this did let Vileplume use Stun Spore to paralyze Salamence. The newly sent out Celio was now also threatening the paralyzed Dragon Flying type, so Word swapped it out for Charizard while Magmar used Flamethrower to one-shot Vileplume, bringing in X-Cloud next. Celio just used Hail, and Charizard could simply override that with Sunny Day on the next turn, which also let Magmar nearly get a one-shot with Flamethrower. Word tried to nuke the Celio on the next turn with a Sun boosted Overheat, but they lived because of Thick Fat, unlike X-Cloud which got finished off by a Flamethrower. Glacia's last Pokemon was Aggron, so Word was once again forced to switch out her Pokemon, this time back into Salamence, since Magmar could use Brick Break to take care of Celio before it could use any more Blizzards. Meanwhile, Aggron just wasted a turn with Protect, so we showed it how Protect should be used. To protect yourself from your partner using Earthquake. The Rock Steel type managed to just barely lift a 4 times effective move, but Hail was set back up earlier by Celio, and that chip damage finished the battle. That brings us to the last Elite Four member, Drake. His starting Pokemon were Armaldo and Metang, and we knew from having our own Metang earlier that it doesn't have a great moveset, so we doubled into Armaldo. However, it used Protect. Twice in a row. Fortunately, Metang either just used Iron Defense or missed Meteor Mash, so he finally took down Armaldo on turn 3 without taking damage. Drake's next Pokemon was Regice, and we both had flying types out, so it was time for a double switch into Metagross and Magmar. Drake continued missing, this time with Zap Cannon from Regice, and Metang used Iron Defense to boost its physical defense once again, which didn't matter when Magmar incinerated it with a special flamethrower. Metagross could have finished off Regice right afterwards with Meteor Mash if Word didn't get inspired by Drake and accidentally clicked Iron Defense instead. Regice fortunately still didn't do any damage, so although the newly sent in Flareon was slightly threatening against Metagross, we decided to stay in and just attack. Magmar's Brick Break chipped out Flareon, and Word actually clicked Meteor Mash this time to one-shot Regice. However, the Ice-type legendary then got replaced by a scarier legendary, Ho-Oh. Word switched out Metagross to protect it from the incoming Fire Blast, which targeted their partner Flareon instead to activate Flash Fire. Flareon's flamethrower still didn't do a lot of damage even with the boost, but it was definitely cool to see AI use double battle strategies. The main threat continued to be Ho-Oh, but we could quickly make this a 2v1, and although the legendary had recovered to heal itself, we just needed some inevitable good luck to let us win the battle. That leaves just one opponent, the Hoenn champion, Wallace. I don't think a voiceover can truly capture the chaos of this battle, and it's probably better experience without one, so enjoy. 6 Pokemon, 6v6. Tentacruel Machamp.
That's got nothing against Pew, though.
Okay.
Pew, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah! We like to see that, Pew.
Okay.
Let's go.
What the
Crit?
heck? Pew, what are you doing? How is Metrodome actually good?
It's that I never get punished for my actions. Snorlax, that's got nothing against Pew. Scary face, sure. So what if I'm a little slower? Get him. Get him, Pew. Let's go.
It's actually getting super effective moves. This is unheard of.
I'm winning.
Huge damage.
Oh, nice Spore.
I'm just gonna play sports. And what I mean sports.
Alright.
Now that they're both asleep, I call this Pew Blast.
Pew Blast! But first, we got my metronome to go. Okay. I'm just giving you your time in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Huge damage. Huge damage.
That was
go.
pretty respectable damage. Oh, you should have given Pew a Leper Berry.
Oh well, it deserves the X special.
If only it had a Leper Berry.
If only it had the X special.
Show me that explosion.
Come on, Pew.
Roar. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What's gonna tank a Hyper Beam? Let's see. I don't think it's gonna kill, but like 3/4? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Pew, kill them.
Oh, I saw X and I was like, ooh.
I saw X as well. Okay. Almost there. Come on, Pew.
Sing actually lands. Okay.
I just needed to steal your spotlight a little there.
Yeah. Let's see. How many metronomes do you have left? 2?
I think so. Okay.
Oh, Storage woke up. Oh no, not my Seal Scarf. Don't steal my Seal Scarf.
No, not my X special.
The X special. No.
Pew, we need to kill him right now.
Okay. Ah, dang it.
Pew, you have 1 metronome left.
Actually.
Obliterate. I'll take it, I guess.
Oh. Using my secret technique against me?
Oh no!
What do you do? Snorlax.
Is this the end of Pew as we know it?
No. Pew. No. Well, I'm happy I got to show off that they can feint at the same time.
I'm so happy I got to take out, like, I think 2 Pokemon?
Okay, but now the actual battle starts, and we only have 2 pairs left. Registeel, okay.
Registeel, guess who's getting incinerated next turn?
Yep. I do think it kills, but it could also just not kill.
Oh, absolute. Oh.
Yep. Amnesia, that's fine.
Fine.
I'm hoping for a Hyper Beam here, honestly.
Oh, well there you go. Just hope you don't get crit.
I would never. That did more damage than I thought it would.
That did a lot of damage.
Well, yeah, now we can double into Registeel and just,
No, I would say Giga Drain into Snorlax, honestly.
No, I'd say double into Registeel. Either way, I'm gonna Solar Beam Registeel. You can do whatever.
Solar Beam. Well, I might as well pick up the kill on Registeel, because Snorlax is doing nothing.
Wait, I'm faster. Dang it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I did not hear anything about me being
How
faster.
am I becoming the voice of reason? I used Metronome for the first half of this battle.
Okay, Mantine.
Mantine, okay.
I'm just gonna Solar Beam the Mantine. You can take our Snorlax.
Would you not want to switch?
Why would I? There's 2 Pokemon left.
There's only 2 left? Oh, okay.
More depth is more fun.
Okay, if you insist.
More depth is more Sure, okay. I don't think this kills Mantine, but I also don't think we're gonna get killed here. Like, I don't think Mantine really does anything.
Yeah, we're fine. I take out Snorlax easy, and Mantine does what, like...
Bounce.
Real Ace?
Doesn't even exist yet. Doesn't exist? I don't know. Does Bounce exist? I don't know if Bounce exists.
I think so.
Maybe like Air Cutter.
Yeah.
Wing Attack.
Wing Attack. That does the trick.
Well, here we go.
Well, Leon, it was good.
It was good. It was really, really good. Whoop. See, just more showing off mechanics and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah.
Wanna
Neodon.
try just Meteor Mashing this because it's especially defensive. Wanna try Helping Hand Meteor Mash?
Why not?
I could Thunderbolt it, but nah. Helping Hand, and then Meteor Mash. And it misses. Great.
Hey!
Okay. Small hiccup, but we're just gonna do the same thing, and yeah. No.
Yeah.
Okay, that's. Wait, no. Yo, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
Yep. You're good.
I'm good.
All right.
You're bad.
Yeah. Love to see it.
I'll break through if I got this.
Third time's the charm.
I got this. No.
Ouch.
No.
We're not gonna lose this battle, are we?
Why would we?
Consequences of our actions.
Maybe. But no, that wouldn't happen.
At least I landed a meteor match.
Yes. Hey, what do you think? I
would have needed the helping hand.
I think you need the helping hand to finish it from here, to be honest.
I do.
No.
Ooh.
Okay, just break through confusion, and it's gonna be fine. Step out of confusion. Okay, no helping hand.
Easy.
But we got there in the end.
We are never punished for our actions.
Never punished for our actions. So this time it's both of our actions.
That's the real moral of this story.
Yeah. And with that, we beat Wallace, and we became the new Hoenn champions. I had so much fun with both making and playing this mod, and if you also had fun while watching it, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and maybe watch one of my other videos as well. This mod will be public in roughly a week after this video comes out. You can then find it in the Google Drive folder linked in the description, or you can already find the mod in my Discord server right now if you are a tier 2 YouTube member. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the video, I'll see you next time, and of course, stay alive.